Does this make sense? So x equals the number minus 20. What number were we using earlier?
43.
What was
43.
it? 43. So 43 minus 20 is 23. 23 minus 1 is 22. 23 plus 2 is 25. 23 plus 1 is 24. Yes.
So all I have to do is just memorize the...
And how much, you said this works for between numbers, what?
20 and 100, but I'm going to allow you guys to learn a slight variation of this, because if you're to perform this, and I hope you will, and when this gentleman says, you just have to blah, 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 and it's like yes and no. Yes, memorizing it and being able to do the math, but there's also a part of me having sold it up here. Like, remember how I set the stage and I talk about the right and the left side of the brain working together? That's salesmanship. That's performance. That's selling how impressive it is. We're actually squaring 37 in one's head is a bigger mental feat than this. But this looks more impressive. Because sometimes when you can look at the underlying fabric of a matrix, you can see ways to change it that can appear magical or impressive to those that are not seeing the underlying structure that you see. Now, if somebody gives you a larger number, like 98, wouldn't it be odd if there were just these four numbers that were so much bigger than all the rest? Mm-hmm. Those big numbers would stick out like a sore thumb, right? To prevent that from happening, what you can do is use the number minus 50, but then add 10 to everything else. So 1 becomes 11, 12 becomes 22, 7 becomes 17. You see what I'm doing?
Is that why you said you have to repeat numbers?
If one were to use a number like 22, you'd be repeating numbers. So no, it was for a different reason. But I've added 10 to each of the non-x numbers, and then subtracting 50 for numbers that are like 60 or larger. That's the formula I'll use. When I was 15 or 16, I was savvy enough in my mind that I could actually play this out with variations, so that if somebody wanted me to do 26 and 28, I could do it with variations. But I hadn't practiced, and my head got older. One thing for me, when I was your guys' age, I could effortlessly, almost verbatim, repeat conversations I'd had the previous day. People sometimes would say, "What are you, a human recorder?" And it was just a skill I had, a knack. It was effortless. As I've gotten older, I no longer have that ability, but my mind has gotten far more visual. And there are benefits and drawbacks for each. Yes?
What happens if the number is for more than 10?
Well, since I gave them the constraint of 20 to 100, if they pick 18, I usually chastise them. But since I say between 20 and 100, and that gives them the possibility of choosing 20, then I do wind up having -1 and a 0. And I just say it to them straight up, since you chose such a low number, I'm going to have to use a negative number. And if they use a number like 24, I say, since you chose such a low number, I'm going to have to repeat myself. And the reason why I've learned to do that is because when I was doing it hundreds of times as a teenager, sometimes somebody who would appear to me as a jerk would go, "Oh, you're repeating numbers, that's not fair." Not fair. Look, I'm doing mathematical magic, you little nimwit. I'm allowed to repeat numbers. Who gave you the right to make new rules for me? So I just set it up beforehand so that they don't do that kind of stuff. I kind of want to take a break from the math for a moment and show you guys a magic trick. Would you be okay with that? Cool. This was how I paid my way through college. While I did the powers of the mind reading, and those kinds of elements, the way I paid my way through UCLA was as a strolling magician doing magic in restaurants. And it was the strolling magic that made me my bread and butter. It wasn't that often that I got paid to be on the stage and do the powers of the mind, but the way that I got paid, hired to do that, was because somebody saw me doing card tricks and then said, we want to hire you for this party, or that type of thing. Would you help me out and grab out a playing card? Here, pick me. No, it's a joke. Show it to everyone, I won't look. You got it? Call stop as I go through the pack. Whoops. Throw your card back in there. Hopelessly losing your card towards the center of the pack. Who can do a bridge shuffle? Can somebody? Great.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Excellent. Can you remember your playing card? That's important, otherwise we get to the end, I said this was it, you say I don't remember, the whole thing looks silly. Sometimes it doesn't work. Place your hand palm up. Your playing card would be the 4 of spades, correct? Seriously? What was your card? Take a look.
What?
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
No. Applauding this loudly would disturb the neighboring classrooms.
Ain't no way.
Let me say it.
Wait, I want to do it again.
You sound just like my ex-girlfriend. Help me out if you will. Touch another playing card.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Don't grab, or I guess grab. It's all right. Ask her if it looks familiar. We'll try it again for the sake of redundancy. Touch another playing card for me. Just touch, don't grab. Just touch. Any idea?
I'm guessing it's a 7.
What? No.
Some people think that in order for me to do this, I would have to have more than 110. Would you autograph the face of that?
Oh, God.
Make it really big so we can see it from a distance, because the 10 of clubs has a lot of clutter on it. Perfect, I'll take the pen. Do you like, whoops,
Makes me
do you
uncomfortable.
like bad jokes?
Yes.
Dad
Touch
jokes?
the tip of the pen. That makes it a felt tip marker.
James, that was like, I mean,
So this is the only 10
In
of
the world
clubs
of
in the
dad
world
jokes,
with your autograph on it, yes? Help me out if you will, touch one more playing card for me.
oh, God.
Just touch. Any idea what that playing card would be?
5.
If we take a look and it just happens to be her 10 of clubs.
No.
Now, I'm going to take the 10 and I'm going to place it towards the center of the pack. A little riffle, a snap, and it jumps back up the top of the pack. We'll take the 10, I'm going to place it on the floor, place your foot on top of it, touch one last playing card for me. Go ahead. That one right there. You see, actually, this card here is the 10. This is a completely different playing card.
No.
One more time in really slow action. We take the 10, I place it towards the center, a riffle, a snap, and it jumps back up to the top.
No. What?
Got it.
That's how I paid my way through UCLA. I would wind up doing so the mentalism kind of stuff that I would do sometimes would be along these lines. If you memorize one of these cards, you got one of them memorized. The card that you were looking at is a black card, correct? The card that you were looking at was the 8 of diamonds.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a little freaky.
James, don't act like you know.
Sometimes people feel a little transparent,
I would.
right? Memorize one of these cards as I go through the deck. Did you memorize one? Do you have the type of visual mind where you can see it in your head? All right, and sometimes I have more trouble than others looking into somebody's mind. I'm seeing a lot of white space on the card. Is the card that you're looking at a low-numbered card? And the card that you're looking at in your mind, there's some symmetry. Those are black spots that I'm looking at. No? The red? Okay, I don't have a clear picture. The, I had really imagined that you were looking at the three of clubs. What card were you looking at?
Three of hearts.
The three of hearts. I saw them as black. Can't read your mind that well.
That's still crazy. He got the right number, the wrong color.
To bring things to a close, because I think we're running out of time presently. We've got more.
Yep.
But perhaps I'll do it for a good closure for the video, because this would put us on like the hour mark of the video. And I'd like to someone to help me with what I hope is the most amazing card trick you've ever seen in your entire life. Who would like to help with that? His arm went up fast and high and huge. And sorry, Christina.
Huge arm. Huge arm.
Hey, wave to the camera.
So come on up here, if you will. This is an invisible pack of playing cards. Can you see them?
I can see that.
Great. I'm holding them by the side. They're like that wide, that tall, that thick. Take the pack, if you will. Take them out of the box and shuffle them up on the table.
If we actually gave him some cards, you wouldn't be shuffling.
Spread them face down across the table. Push one card forward. Pick it up, look at it. Now, many men choose the ace of spades. You're not looking at the ace of spades, are you? Good. Many women, the most common card for women to pick is the queen of hearts. You're not looking at the queen of hearts, are you?
No.
Okay. You can see the card in your mind. Great. I won't look. Show everyone else what the card is.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Now take it and place it face up amongst the face down cards and shuffle the cards together. So your card is the one card turned the wrong direction in the pack. Awesome. Take the cards, place them back in the box. Perfect. Take the entire pack and throw it at me. As if that's
Wait.
not amazing enough.
Where?
Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. What was the one card that you turned the wrong direction in your pack?
The 4 of diamonds.
The 4 of diamonds, because the only card turned the wrong direction in this pack is this one playing card.
No way. You're copying.
An invisible card.
I appreciate your help.
Oh, you looked at the camera
All
with
right,
that
hey,
face,
good
too.
job, hey.
I am so shook.
When I was 12 and
Take
spent that
Just take a nap.
time with Buckminster Fuller, in his final book, Cosmography, he refers to me as the 12-year-old kid who is interested in the tricks of magicians. And I'm still interested in the tricks of magicians. And it fascinates me how, being autistic, they will teach me mind reading, and it's considered a beneficial skill. And yet for people that are diagnosed as schizophrenic, the ability to read minds is considered a symptom and unreal. I'm not sure to what extent some of what I do is trickery and to what extent some of it might be real magic. And I've had experiences in my life that I cannot explain. And yet my notions of universe and fluid dynamics don't allow me to subscribe to what many people call God. And yet I believe in God, although I treat the word God more like universe, as an all-encompassing power that is beyond my comprehension and will never be inscribed in the limitation of static words in a dynamic universe. And if us humans should survive for long on our planet Earth, I hold that we're going to have to figure out how to game for Bucky's parting challenge to humanity. How do we make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation without ecological damage or disadvantage to anyone? Now, I've been working on this, gaming on this, and some people like to make fun of me for the approaches I've taken, and I generally think fun is a good thing and levity is good, but a lot of times when people say that they're making fun, it doesn't feel like fun. You know what I mean? And I was working with an artist named David Guerrero in Arizona, and we were seeking to get Arizona State University to participate in celebrating the International Day of Peace on September 21st. Are you guys aware of the International Day of Peace? Couple? See one head nodding. Asheville is the one city in the world that has participated in the International Day of Peace in the most consecutive number of years, having had the mayor celebrate the International Day of Peace. In 1981, the United Nations unanimously agreed that we should have an Armistice Day one day a year. That one day a year we should all celebrate peace and wage peace. It only took them 20 years to agree on the date. So in 2001, they chose September 21st. Why that date? No frickin' idea. I've inquired. It's the cusp between two astrological signs. It's not quite the solstice, it's not quite the solstice. It's one day off. The 22nd, I think, technically is the solstice. I'm not sure how they chose that date, and everything with the United Nations has only gotten more confusing than less. When working with UNCA 2 years ago, we tried to interconnect with Peace University in Costa Rica that was created by the United Nations to interconnect and celebrate Peace Day together. UNCA and Peace University celebrating Peace Day. And after 6 emails and 3 conference calls, I get an email from Peace University that says it's not that they're too busy celebrating Peace Day, but that they're not sure that interconnecting with UNCA on Peace Day is in alignment with their mission. Hurts my head. Peace University, created by United Nations, which created Peace Day, celebrating Peace Day with another university not in alignment with their mission, hurts my head. But when working with the artist David Guerrero, we were in a bar drinking a couple beers, and there was the wave. You know, the wave in the stadium? People stand up and they do the wave. And David said, "Hey Ben, isn't the wave an instance of a local version of spontaneous cooperation without ecological damage or disadvantage to anyone?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Maybe we could figure out a way to inspire people to do the wave around the world." And so since then, I've been proposing the idea to folks that on Peace Day, on September 21st, that they, at noon, stand up for peace. And if we do that in every time zone, we will have co-created a global form of spontaneous cooperation without ecological damage or disadvantage to anyone. And part of what I've found to be true when working in advertising or when working as a magician is that getting somebody to see something differently once can change their behavior forever. And if we can co-create a demonstration of global spontaneous cooperation without ecological damage or disadvantage to anyone, that it puts us on that path of sustainability, which increases the likelihood that your great-grandchildren will be able to live on Spaceship Earth. Of all the things that we have on this planet, the one thing that we all share in equal amounts is our time. And I'm honored and grateful that you all shared your time with me. Thanks for having me.
Too good. Wow. Yeah, I've been working for